Hey guys, Chad with BAKO'S Custom Lawn, and got a little tree pruning tutorial for you. It's not really the right time of year for it, but I want to get this one done. I'm going to thin some of the fruit out of it as well because it's a little heavy. As you can see, it's kind of sagging down, and then also it's leaning. So I think what we'll do is we're going to put a post in the ground, and we're going to take and pull that tree back over, but I want to prune it first because I may prune it and it might solve most of the problems. But I think we're going to do 2 or 3 of these today. So anyway, we'll just get started here. I'm just going to pause it and we'll get our equipment and we'll go from there. So just hang tight and we'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back with the stuff. So we got a ladder now. And then we also got a T-post here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that, but it's pretty much this tree is leaning real bad. So I'm going to drive this T-post in and then we're going to tie this tree back a little bit. It is a pain to mow around, but something we're going to have to do. Now, you guys might not agree with how I trim this, but the fruit, this thing is overloaded with fruit. This is a peach tree, and peach trees generally get overloaded. You got to thin them out, and then sometimes the limbs break and everything else. So I'm going to prune this thing back pretty good. We're going to take the top out. We want to make this thing to where it's easy to get the fruit out of it. And typical with fruit trees, they just shoot up and have a huge amount of growth, and then you can't reach the fruit. So anyway, I'm doing this a little early. Generally we do this early spring or fall, but we're going to take care of it. We're going to take care of it right now because I have a little bit of time. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and I'll let you guys see the whole thing, but see how tall it is. We're going to take the top out of that, and then get this T-post put in here real quick. Now this thing is a beast. Actually, this was here when I moved here, but this thing is a massive thing. I don't even know what it weighs, 35, 40 pounds. But anyway, it taps in the T-post pretty good. So I'm going pretty deep there just because this is a pretty good sized tree, and we don't want just the T-post to fall over or bend. So kind of putting it at a back angle a little bit. In fact, this one was one of my old T-posts. It was already bent that way, so it's already bent back. So anyway, I got that in there. Before I hook all that up, I'm going to bring this back out here so you guys can see a little better what I'm doing. But you can tell that branch right there is overloaded with fruit. So I'm probably just going to come out a little ways and just cut that off instead of messing around with pulling all the fruit off of it. So I'm going to bring the truck around so I can just throw the branches right in the truck. It'll make it a lot easier. So hold on just a sec, guys. There, guys, got the truck here. So I'm actually going to try and pull some of that fruit off there and see what that branch actually looks like. I don't really want to cut the end of it off, but I am going to cut the top out of it. I'm going to get the inside of it opened up just a little bit more, but we just want to make it more manageable. So I'm going to pitch some of that fruit off, and you guys can probably see how it starts relieving from the weight. This thing's literally loaded down with tons of fruit. Okay guys, so I thinned that out quite a bit, and you can tell it just went right back up. So, and it'll probably continue to go up more, but there's just a lot of fruit on there. So we just thin the fruit out, and then got our pruning shears here. But back in my previous video, I just told you guys to make sure you clean your pruning shears between. Get down here where you guys can see just. And these are already clean because we clean them between every job, but it's just a good idea to make sure, because I see so many diseased trees every day, and it's just Kind of sad. So whether they have bugs or disease, but we don't want to be the reason that we're spreading that stuff. So just take you a little bit of 70% rubbing alcohol and wipe your shears down. So that way we don't get them all nice and clean. Okay, much good to go there. These are the steel, what are these called? The steel PL40s, and they're the big loppers. Man, they tell you what, these are the best ones I've ever had. These are great. And then my small ones are just the small steel. They probably have a name, but they're not actually on the handle or anything. So anyway, I'm gonna take this. Yeah, see, here's the small ones. But anyway, I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna start pruning some of this small stuff out of the center, getting some air. So we'll turn this back around so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, just gonna keep on pruning, getting this thing some air. So move this over here just a little bit so you guys can see a little closer what I'm doing here. Move this up just a bit. All right, just don't want to hit our heads on the branches when we're mowing, obviously. And then also you want to keep the middle of the tree kind of open, so I have to get in here and prune a lot of this out of there. Just right out of the center here. You want all your branches growing outward, not inward. So get all this cleaned up here. And then I'm going to lob the top of this one off. Okay, that's pretty good. The ground in here is really soft. We just watered this tree really good because it was getting pretty dry. So got her all watered. Now I'm going to take the top of this one out, so if you guys can see that okay. But we're going to go ahead and take that top of this booger right out of here because we don't want these fruit trees growing too tall. We want to be able to reach the fruit. So I think honestly we're just going to take it off pretty much level with what the rest of this would be, probably right about here. Alright, got that out of there. That. And we'll prune up some of this inside stuff I was telling you about. That one actually looks pretty good. It's got a damaged branch there, so I'm going to take that one out of there. There we go. Okay. Now, over that for a second. Some of these inside ones pruned out. Okay. Good. And like I said, I don't normally do this time of year, but this needed to be done because I think if it wasn't done, it would have pretty much, well, the branches would have broke off and it would have been a mess. So anyway, I'm going to go around this other side. Now I didn't thin this other side yet, so I'm going to take some of the fruit off over here too and thin it out. Kind of tricky because this is really wet here, so the ladder wants to fall over on me. Get some of this fruit off here. You wouldn't believe how heavy the fruit is, but it's extremely heavy. And I'm not taking it all off, I'm just kind of thinning it out so it has a good opportunity to put on some good fruit. About taking about half of them off of here because they are just growing like crazy here. And there's like just tons of fruit all grouped up in here. And if I were to leave this, like I said, this would just break these limbs right off. So it's actually the first year this thing's put on this much fruit actually. Trim a couple of these off. Okay, and the side ones, get rid of those. Just want to kind of get it open so it can breathe. Step back and take a look at it and see how it's looking. It's probably not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a whole lot better than what it was. So anyway, I'm going to get out of the way here, and then I'm going to get back up in there and see how I can prune this a little more, but I think it's pretty much there. So got the top out of it, and it looks a little funny right now, but it'll be fine once that fills back in again. And I didn't really want to take that one out, so looking pretty good. I think I've got that one thinned out enough to where it'll be okay. And well, that tree is just leaning super good, and I think it's just because all that one side has all that fruit on it. So I think we're just gonna kind of leave it like that, honestly. Got the inside of it all cleaned out, so it's got good air flowing through there. And so I think we'll probably be in good shape here. Still growing on the inside, but yeah, I think that's probably good. So we got everything we got everything elevated so we don't hit it with the mower now. I'm gonna pick up all this brush and then I'm gonna work on getting it tied or pulled back over, I guess we should say. So we're gonna get that tree. Hopefully it wants to cooperate. I may have to kind of gently pull it and then keep gently pulling it over. I might not be able to get it completely over today, but we'll just keep tightening it up until we get it corrected. So it's just the weight of all that fruit and then wind and everything else probably just started making it lean like that. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this up real quick, and then we're going to see what we can do about this leaning problem. And all this fruit that I knocked on the ground, I'm probably not going to pick it up. I'm probably going to leave it. This is my own tree, so that's all nutrients that can go back into the roots, so I'm not too worried about it. Just getting the branches and stuff up out of the way. So okay, let me get this over here where you can see good what I'm going to be doing here with this post, and hopefully it'll work. Not everything we do works. So got this post in pretty good. I may just bend it back just a little bit. Now what I did, I don't know if it's going to work yet because I haven't done it, but I got an old piece of leather, because you don't want to we don't want to put anything and tie it around the tree, because it's gonna choke out the tree and kill it. And so I want something that's going to be gentle on the bark. So I thought, well, I got an old belt, maybe this will work. So I'm not guaranteed it's going to work. I'm just going to try it and see if it will. So all we can do is try things and see if they work, and if they don't, we try something else. So all this is mule tape, basically nylon mule tape, so works extremely good for this kind of stuff, and it's super strong. I've used this stuff over and over again. This is just an old piece I had laying around. In fact, I got some string or something tied on this for some reason. Okay, that off of there. You know, and I'm sure we'll get some of these pro tree guys get on here. Well, that's not how you do it. You don't do it until the fall or the spring. Yeah, I know. But actually pruning this back right now is not going to hurt anything. And we thinned out, so there's not as much energy going into those branches, so it'll probably fill in better. And then all the fruit that I got rid of. So if I would have left it, it would have been worse. You know, granted, if it wasn't that bad, I probably would have left it alone. And actually, I've got 2 more I need to do too. So we're gonna continue on with this video. And I got 1 cherry that doesn't need much, and then I got an apple tree. But like I said, I think it needs to be done. And if we don't get it done, it's probably the branches will break when the fruit gets heavy. So we're gonna thin those out, prune them a little bit, and those ones we don't have to correct because they're straight. So I'm gonna get this on here and see how I'm gonna do this. this thing is really over there, so generally want to get onto this probably. Alright, so generally we'd go lower on the tree, but I think in this instance we're probably going to go up here on this one and see how I can get it to come over with some leverage, because if I go low I have no leverage. So, and I'm sure there's, you know, professional, you know, things to use for this, but, you know, save money and use what you have laying around, so don't have to use all professional stuff. So, especially when it accomplishes the same thing. Get this damn thing to go in there. I don't think I cut the hole big enough on this one. Doesn't want to go in. There we go. Alright, cool. Yeah, so I think I was right. I think it's going to take a little bit of gently moving it over, but I think this leather is going to work extremely well. And I have to figure out how we're going to do this. And it's soft soil here too. It's because of the irrigation, so I got to figure out how I'm going to get enough leverage to pull this thing over. Yeah, this is going to take a little work over time, I think, guys. I don't think this is going to be a one fixed thing. Just going to have to gently keep bringing it over, because I don't think this T-post is going to stand it either. In fact, I'm going to drive it in just a bit more. So this is just a knot that I use to, it's kind of, I think they call it a trucker's knot, but I may be wrong. So let me get you guys the best view of what I'm doing here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing there. So let's see if I can get this to pull over a little bit. I'll get down as low as I can here. Okay, I think that's probably going to be as much we're going to do right now. and then you just got to tie it off to make sure it doesn't slip. Okay. Actually should have had that T-post the other way, because then it would have grabbed onto these little nubs here, but it was actually kind of already bent the other way, so okay. Get rid of that excess. Okay, let's see how we did here. Looks pretty good. Alright, so let's take it back and see what we accomplished here, if anything. But looks like it's already a little better. So like I said, we're not going to get it all at once, but right now it's looking not perfect, but it's pulling it over enough to where I could probably just keep doing this. Maybe every couple weeks I'll come out here and I'll cinch it up some more until we get to the point to where it's straight up and down. So anyway, I think it was just the weight of the fruit that caused this, and plus some wind and stuff, because we get some pretty strong winds coming out over there. So anyway, so this one's now manageable. The fruit's been thinned, and no branches should break. I'll keep an eye on it. Once those peaches are heavy, so you got a big old peach like this, you know, and then a little branch like this, and the math doesn't work. I see peach trees with broken branches and everything all the time. So anyway, so this tree is pretty much done, and we're just going to move on to the next one. So hold on here, guys, and we'll move on. Yeah, cherry tree, and we're going to do the same thing with this one, but this one doesn't need much work, honestly. It needs topped off and thinned out a bit, but honestly it doesn't need as much as those that other one needed. So anyway, we're going to get started on this one and get going here. Yeah, we already cleaned our shears and everything, so they're ready to go. So Alright guys, so that's pretty much done for that one. So yeah, this one didn't need much work at all. Just clean up and we'll move on to the next one. Okay. Hey guys, okay, so this is the apple tree. This one's a little, one of the other worse ones, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Once again, we already cleaned our tools, so we're ready to go on to the next tree. And just gonna thin this one out. It's got a lot of growth on the inside, so we're gonna trim up the bottom a little bit so we don't hit it with the mower. A lot of stuff coming out the bottom there, and then we'll thin the inside out, and then we'll top it off so we keep it low enough to where we can get the fruit off of there. There is a little bit of fruit on this, so it's not overloaded like the peach tree was, so I think this one will be able to leave most of the fruit on there because it's not out on the edges. So anyway, here we go guys. And the other thing too guys is you know, put your truck or wheelbarrow right next to where you're working so you can be more efficient with what you're doing, because if you got to go walking half a block to put your stuff in there, then you're not being very efficient. So I put my wheelbarrow and everything right next to where I'm working, so it's easy for me to clean up. So get the ladder out real quick. This one won't take me very long. So there's a little bit of money to be made in pruning trees. Like I was telling you earlier, these are just my own. These are my own trees. I get away from the media releases and all that kind of stuff if I just do it on my own property, because I give myself permission. So anyway, this one makes it a little easier for me, because then I can give you all these videos, because I got all this property and tons of maintenance to do on this property and upkeep. So I might as well you know, make some videos so you guys can take a look and see what you think, and if you got some ideas how to make it better, let me know. I'm definitely not the authority on everything. I learn new stuff every day as well. So anyway, we've got, it's in a very bad place for a branch. So there's a big branch that is growing right next to this other branch, and it's kind of a conflict. So we're going to remove this one out of here. So I'm going to get my big whoppers Trim it off. And we get busy on our businesses, and then we don't have much time for our own lawn, our own upkeep. But today I had a little extra time, so I wanted to make a video for you guys so you could check it out and see what you thought of it. But these trees are, all they need is like a little haircut, and they don't take a lot of time. And like I was telling you earlier, you can make a little money. I don't generally won't get into pricing because you guys got to know your numbers, and you got to know what you have to make for your own business, you know. But watch some of these other channels, and they let you know all their numbers. So I mean, we're all just a little bit different as far as what our numbers are and what we have to make in our business. So different demographics and whatnot. So it's definitely good to know your numbers, because otherwise you're not going to be in business very long. Got to know what all your expenses are, and in this world now where we've got all this rapid inflation going on and stuff like that, we have to be watching this way more closely than we did before. I mean, gosh, we gotta watch this almost monthly. You know, the gas prices are going up, everything's going up. You know, and you can thank our leader for that one. You know, he doesn't even know what day it is, pretty much. So I'm not a big fan. I know I was paying $1.80 something per gallon for gasoline, and now we're, I don't even know, $5, $4.50. You know, it just depends on where you are. So it's just stupid. So that's where we are, and so that's what we got to deal with. So even more now, you got to really watch your numbers, or you're going to be out of business, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, I'm going to keep going, maybe give you guys a little different angle here. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm not very good at being a videographer, but I try. All right. So we're going to keep giving this thing a haircut. Keep thinning it out. We got a lot of things that are growing on the inside, and I actually said I wasn't going to take out a lot of this fruit, but it happens to be that this fruit is growing on some of the stuff I need to trim out of the inside. So we want to make sure that we have an open inside of this tree, right? So we want to trim all the inside out and give it room to breathe. And right now, this tree, it should have been done a while ago. I mean, it's got a lot of conflicts going on here. I'm just gonna prune all these out of here so we got good airflow through the middle. But like I'm looking here, and this one here has a bunch of the fruit on it, but it's growing on the inside of this plant, and I don't, or on this tree, and I don't need that. So I'm going to take that one out like that. You know, and don't be scared to prune your trees, guys. This is going to make the tree more healthy, because it's not going to be growing into itself, you know, and we don't want it growing into itself either. We want it to be healthy and open, and not have stuff growing in it. Like this one here, it's growing into this one, so we're going to get rid of it. That way these branches aren't touching each other. They're not touching each other. And prune all these little ones off too, because they're just going to be branches too, so we should trim them off. A lot of times you can just take them off with your finger too. Just got to be careful, because you can peel the bark, and we don't want to do that. Trim this one back just a little bit here. Okay. Just a little bit more. Gotta make sure you get it pruned back. You don't want to scalp it right to the branch. You want to be just outside of that. But if you go too far out, the tree will not heal itself. So we gotta get it just right. And you'll notice that little nubbin comes out from the tree, and that's what's going to cover these and heal itself. So you just want to get it just outside of that. And there's a scientific name for that, but I can't think of it right now. So anyway, giving this thing a haircut still. Solving a lot of problems here. Yeah, it's about a gazillion % better. So cleaned out. Yeah, I want to get me some of them orchard ladders. Those are pretty cool. Right now I'm just dealing with a little step ladder. Now it gets the job done. It gets me up where I need to be, and I want to get a couple of those orchard ladders. They're pretty nice. Right now this is doing the trick for me. And now that other tree I had to use those big loppers, but I think I'm going to be able to cut the top of this one out with just my little hand pruners here. So let's see how we can do here. I'm going to have to climb up here now. I think the ground is as wet as that other place was. So climb up here, and I'm going to pick a nice spot to just kind of prune this off of here. And get a nice level, because we want to be able to harvest our fruit, and we don't want it too high. So now I can't go over here like this. Get on the back side of this. Alright. Yeah, you want to get it relatively close. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but to your eyeball. And then we got some stuff. You don't want those branches growing to the inside. It's not what you want. So when you prune this, we prune it back to where it's growing to the outside. And this one as well. Alright. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright guys, well, while I'm up here, I can clean the inside of this one off. We don't have a whole lot of fruit left on this one. Got one little apple there, and what do I got? Two? Only got two left. So, but that's what we want to do. We want to get it cleaned up to where this plant's healthy. Get all the branches going to the outside. This one's got a little branch here with a little apple. I'm going to leave it there since I only got two left here. So anyway, that's pretty much it for that. So looks good, about 1,000,000% better. And we're done with this one. So anyway, that was three fruit trees. If you guys like these kind of videos, like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share them with your other lawn care friends. I do a lot of the videos around my place, as I mentioned before, because of the releases and all that kind of stuff are kind of a pain sometimes, but they're not too bad. You just ask the customer if you can video, or you can write up a media release form and let them check it off when, it's okay for you to video or whatever like that. And you can just say you use it to promote your business or promote your YouTube or whatever you're doing, but just let your customer know and then be transparent. So anyway, so this one's done. The other two are done. That one that we did first is obviously still leaning. It's not perfect, so I'm going to come back to that every couple of weeks and just cinch up that line there, so it slowly starts moving that tree over. Because if I cinch it up all the way right now, it'll probably break that branch off. So we don't do that. And typically we want to go from the bottom, but it's just not enough leverage there, so I started up higher. So anyway, guys, well, that's going to be the end of the video. And like I said, thanks for watching. And like I said, make sure you like and subscribe and share. And And let me know what you guys want to see in the comments. With all the views that we get, we don't get a lot of views, but they kind of suggest to me that you guys like the reviews and stuff of the equipment a little more than these. But I'm going to keep doing these as well because it helps us all out, and then I'll do more equipment reviews too. In fact, I've got tons of equipment to review, just not enough time to do it. So just kind of keep watching and subscribe, and we'll be having all kind of stuff on here. So anyway, thanks guys, and have a great day.